once you added your data sources here, you're gonna be able to configure alerts, right? This is gonna help you to control your campaigns, daily, in detail, and without any manual work whatsoever. Let me show you how this works. So first of all, when creating a new alert, you have to choose basically the source, right? And again, the ad account. Then you have, filters and conditions. So the filters are optional. So for example, you can filter if you want to control a specific campaign, ad set, or ad inside this ad account. But if you leave it empty, it's going to basically control all campaigns, right, from the specific ad account. Let's say we want to control, I don't know, these 4 campaigns. And the conditions are basically what you want to control, right? So for example, you have a list of metrics here. Let's say we want to track if the number of impressions for yesterday, are lower than 5, you're gonna get alerted, right? So this example is great because how many times did something break from the campaign, and you noticed 4 days later that the campaign wasn't having any impressions, and you wasted a lot of time, right? So this is gonna alert you if this happens. You can customize a message here. And how does it work? You basically enter the email address you want to be notified to. So I'll put my email here. You can add all the emails you want. And before we activate it, let me show you a couple of more examples. So we were talking about impressions, but you could do anything here. So let's say, for example, I don't know, if the clicks for this month are lower than 100, let me know. Or maybe if the CTR for this week is lower than 3%, let me know. You could add, multiple conditions. I think this example here makes sense. So let's say you want to track the CTR lower than 3%, but you only want to track it, for those campaigns that have a certain, minimum number of impressions, right? So you can add a condition here and say something like, okay, impressions for this week is greater than, 200, right? So in this case, you're going to track, we are going to control CTR lower than 3%, but as well impressions greater than 200. So if you have a campaign that, didn't print it a lot or didn't spend a lot of money and the CTR wasn't so great, maybe it doesn't make sense, to get notified by it. Another thing you can do here is you can compare the metric against another period. So for example, let's say we're looking at the CTR, but we don't want to compare it to a specific value. We want to compare it to see if it improved or not against the same CTR, obviously, but from another period, right? So we're going to look at the CTR for this week, but we're going to compare it to, maybe the CTR for this quarter, right? So if the CTR of this week compared to the CTR of this quarter is lower, basically if it dropped 30%, you're going to get notified, right? You could do as well, previous period. So this week against the previous one. But, in this case, once you create a lot of these alerts, you can rest assured that everything is working smoothly, since if nothing dropped of a specific percentage, you're not getting notified. And if you're not getting notified, everything is working fine, right? One last example, you could use this obviously to control your budget, right? So for example, if you have a daily budget and you want to check, for example, the amount spent, right? If your daily budget is, $100, and you want to, get notified if for a specific day the amount spent was over $100, you could create, this alert as well. So once you create all your alerts, you're going to see them in a list here. You're going to see, you can, obviously you can post them, edit them, delete, and so forth. You're going to have a log here. So how does this work? You're going to have a daily list, right? Because every day we go and control the metrics for each platform and see if the conditions are met or not. So in this case, you have every time, we controlled the alert, we have it here. As you can see, it's by day. So in this case, since the email wasn't sent, it means basically the condition was not met. If you expand it here, you can see This was the filter, this was the condition, and basically it did not trigger because the conditions were not met, right? So in this example here that you see an email, if you expand, you can see why it was triggered, because the condition in this case was met, okay? So what else about this? You can obviously filter only the ones that were triggered. You can filter by alerts, by ad accounts, or by date. You can export the list to Excel. And let me show you how you're gonna receive this in your email. So this is an example here. Basically, you're gonna get the name of the alert in the subject of the email. What is the platform, the ad account, the date, what was the filter, and what was the condition. So this is alerts. I hope you like it, and let us know if you need any help with this.